there are many different types of publishing companies, and many different types of entities that can function as publishers, and do all of these, perform all of these services, in terms of monetization, promoting and collecting. There are traditional big publishing companies. There are small independent publishing companies. There are publishing companies that exist within distributors. There are management companies that have publishing divisions. There are individuals, business managers, attorneys, your next door neighbor who can set themselves up as a publisher and perform the functionality of the music publishing business. So there are also a lot of now artificial intelligence apps and platforms that can help with some of this functionality, and I'll address that in a little bit as well. And then there are also different types of opportunities and different functions that exist within your own different regions of the world too. So there are a lot of opportunities, and within that there are a lot of different types of publishing deals that are available or that exist. And I'm going down a little bit of a rabbit hole, but I will get to how this relates to you in another moment. The types of publishing deals that exist are dependent upon the different types of organizations, whether it's a major publishing company, an independent. There are deals called administrative deals, which basically for a service fee, taking a percentage of the income that you earn, a small fee, usually 5 to 15%, they will collect your income, they'll track it, they'll collect it, and they will perform all of the sort of administrative functions that that you need to help kind of grow and monetize your catalog with them. There's also another type of deal called a co-publishing deal, and the big difference between admin and co-pub deals, in a nutshell, is ownership. You as the songwriter, or you and your collaborators, are the owners of your copyright. If you enter into a co-publishing deal, the co-publisher generally shares in that ownership, and it's a much more sort of protracted and complicated deal. We won't be talking about that today, but there are really good reasons, for doing different types of deals. A co-pub deal can offer you a lot of different services beyond just the administration. They can offer lots of creative services, helping you pitch and promote your songs, helping your songs, helping you get a record deal if you are a songwriter and artist. There are a lot of different types of a lot of advantages to potentially doing a bigger deal. But you have to be comfortable with whatever structure publishing deal you ultimately choose to do. And irrespective of that, when you're just starting out, some of these deals might not be available to you. The bigger deals often, require bigger catalogs, bigger successful tracks, or even a couple of songs that are out in the commercial sphere earning a lot of income. So how do you get started? I'm going to presume that most everybody here, all of you panelists and listeners today, are kind of just getting started and are much more interested in, how to get off the ground with all of this, what all of this means. We could talk a lot more about the publishing business, but for the purposes of sort of today's conversation, do you need, as a aspiring new songwriter, do you need a publishing deal to collect this income? No, you don't. You need to have created a little business model for yourself, starting your own publishing company, and in that you can perform a majority of these functions that I've mentioned, irrespective of whether you get big offers or small offers or no offers. And you can yourself find a way through your own publishing company, to collect income, to pitch and promote yourself out there in the universe, and ultimately to have a very fulfilling creative career and professionally lucrative career as well. So it's really entirely up to you as a creator, what your goals are, what your aspirations are, what your circumstances are, what your financial flexibility is in terms of how you build and how you start and how you build your own company. around you. But that being said, it's important to do it, even in the smallest startup capacity. And we're going to start there, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit more, because even if ultimately you decide you want a bigger publishing deal later, your publisher or your team that you have around you, everyone is going to want to know that you are able to and have handled your business properly. If you co-write, that your splits are clear and delineated, and if you've earned money from music and for the music you've put out there, that money has been collected, and that you show that you are not just a great creative talent, but that you actually understand the business behind it and you know how to run your business. That's important to other companies as well. Even if they're going to take on the lion's share of that administrative work at a certain point, your affiliation with any company is going to, in large part, be successful based on what you put into it. Even if you've got a great creative team, if you don't do the work and the setup and the day-to-day, not just writing songs, but making sure your business is taken care of, it's going to be harder for any partner to be successful if your business is kind of messy. So all that being said, without a publishing deal, you yourself can be a publisher, and so let's start there. So we've talked about what publishing is, and we've talked about why you need a deal, so that you can earn a living as a songwriter in any capacity. Let us go to the action steps to be able to determine how to move forward. So the first thing, as I kind of said already, identify your goals. Like, what is it that you want? Do you just want to write recreationally and never have your music, out there too much in the commercial sphere? Or do you really want to be a successful writer in some capacity, or a collaborator, or a producer, or a recording artist? Identify your goals and start to really decide for yourself, like, what kind of structure it is going to be most effective for you and most comfortable for you to set up. If all it is working as a writer for yourself and you want a means to collect that income, self-publishing is a really easy thing to set up and